Welcome to 2024 for our Life Purpose by Design kickoff. Our talk today is It's Your Time. I want to talk to you about just quieting down the noise from the rush hours of closing out last year and fully embracing the pace at which you need to undertake this year. So, we're going to have a very, I think, transformational conversation about it's your time. It's not too late. You didn't miss the mark. Join us for our conversation. It's your time. It's your time. January is a time for me to kind of turn down the noise of the end of the year, figure out what in the prior year the new year hold for me. Where do I start? What do I bring from the old year into the new year? So it's a time where, if I'm not careful, there can be just a lot of noise, which affects my level of clarity. And I want you and I to go into embracing this year full of clarity of our purpose, clarity of direction, and clarity around what matters most. So I think of 2024 as a year of activation. I know a lot of people are doing the word of the year. So one of the words that stuck out for me is activation. And the activation part for me is the activation of my faith. I'm going to walk by faith and not by sight. The activation of favor to fully embrace and receive all of the goodness that God has purposed. And the activation of fortitude, walking with a bold and courageous spirit and realizing that, I can do this. So I want to ask you, how many New Year beginnings have you said, okay, this New Year, it's my time. This is going to be the year. This is my season. But then you wondered, what's going to be different this time? Why didn't it happen for me as I planned it last year? Well, the good news is this. Today is a time of new beginnings, new opportunities, new open doors for putting your intentions into motion, getting it out of your headspace and into your live it out space. So I want to encourage you that this is about living it forward with even greater clarity, a commitment to fulfillment, and with a greater courage. And I also want to caution you to not let the pressure of it being a new year overshadow you going into this new year at the pace that's works for you. What is best for you. Forget all the challenges and all the other things, the affirmations, all that. What is really going to work for you? Because we really don't need more information to kind of walk. We have a lot of information. I'm not saying information is bad because that's how we grow, but I'm saying that a lot of times we kind of have the information we need, or we at least know where to find it. So maybe you've had some dreams on hold in 2023, or maybe even prior to 2023. So you've had some dreams on hold, and now you're approaching this new year saying, okay, how do I unlock those dreams? Do you have a dream that you've been holding on to what seems to be like a lifetime? Do you find yourself holding back from your best life because the pathway forward is not fully illuminated in a way that makes you comfortable, that makes you confident, or even compelled to succeed? That the lack of clarity and the fogginess has been more of a detriment to you than something that motivates you. So I want you to think about a few things. One, how many times have you encountered other people who've had similar life goals and visions, businesses, ministries, families that are seemingly moving ahead at the speed of light without any visible holdbacks? They just seem to have it all going on. And you've been silently questioning, or maybe even envying. Yes, it's okay to acknowledge when we envy something that we see someone else succeeding at. It's not, envy is not good, but I'm saying it's okay to be honest about it. You wonder, how do they do it? How do they do it? And then you start questioning, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get my vision in motion? Why can't I bring it to a place of real success? What's really holding me back? You may even think maybe I missed out, or maybe I misplaced my real purpose. Maybe this is not what I'm supposed to be doing in the first place. Virginia Allison, I think, helps us with this fear of missing out mentality that we have sometimes. She wrote these inspirational words saying, "The best time is now. There will never be a better time than now to do anything that you desire, be anything you want, go wherever you please, to know your worth, to embrace life and love, but most of all, embrace yourself." So, as we go into this new year, I think these words about the best time being now is so good for us. And so, we're going to be spending some time in the month of January with this whole series about It's Your Time and looking at the best time is now. So, where do we start as we start off on this journey of fully embracing ourselves and giving ourselves the grace and the permission to move at our pace, to be comfortable with the clarity that we have while we're waiting on greater clarity about where we're headed? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. says it's best: take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. So maybe you are challenged by something that remained unresolved from the prior year. Maybe you are facing some things that are really unwelcome already 8 days into the new year. Or maybe it's been unplanned on your journey towards purpose. But today is the best day for you to start embracing all of that, embracing what you know, what you don't know, the questions, the lack of clarity, the things that you are crystal clear on. Just put it all together, and I promise you that it's going to make sense if you give it the time. So it is all about time for us. A few days ago, it hit me like a rock upside my head that in 9.5 years, I will actually be 70 years old. That's right, the big 7 and a 0. And as I was sitting there, I was thinking, where has the time gone? But more importantly, I was thinking, what can I do with the time that I have remaining? It wasn't scary that I was going to be turning 70, but it raised a lot of questions. And I am telling you, it lit a fire under me. I have been doing more planning and journaling and doing strategic stuff in the past week than I think I've done in all of 2023. And I am very serious about that. So it is about time because we don't have a infinite amount of time, at least not here on earth. And I was reading Psalms 89, verses 47 through 48, and it talks about just remembering how short life is. And it's not to be depressing or discouraging. It's a fact. It's a reality. Bill King says, yesterday is the past, tomorrow's the future, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. If you want to wait for the perfect moment when all is safe and assured, it may never arrive. Mountains will not be climbed, races won, or lasting happiness achieved. And I think Timothy Ferris says it best: someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave with you. So we don't want to be caught up in the someday. We want to be caught up into the gift that we have of today. You are your best asset. You are your best asset to maximizing the time that you have and to make the most of the time that you and I have. So, how do we make the most of it all? I want to share with you 5 what I'm called time purpose connection points. These are things around time that you can look at, different strategies and steps and practices that you can put in place. Some of it is a mindset change. It's not a tangible thing that you may need to do. You may just need to think differently. So let's talk about 5 time to purpose connection points. And we're going to go through them, but I'm going to kind of tell you what they are. The first one is start. Second is elevate your expectations. Third, expect more of yourself. Fourth, go all the way in. And fifth, be on time, on purpose. So let's start with start. Let's start today. When you think about you're driving down in a car and you look in your rearview mirror and you look and you see there's this little thing that's on the rearview mirror that says the objects are closer than they appear. So you may think that it looks like it's just so far away from you, your purpose, you're reaching your goals and your dreams that, December 2024 seems like it's a long way off, 11 months off. But I'm telling you, it's closer than you think. With each day gift that you're given, it's closer than you think. So part of starting is this thing about people are using these words now about your secret sauce. What's your secret sauce? So the sauce is to describe someone who has a style, a confidence, or an attraction about them. Some special quality ability that gives you the capacity to flourish in the things that you do. It's the ability to do something that nobody else can easily replicate. Our purposes are one of a kind, uniquely given to us. Someone could be writing a book just like you. Somebody could be making a movie. Somebody could be starting a business. Somebody could be starting a family, getting married, whatever it is uniquely assigned to their purpose. And it really doesn't have anything to do with your ability to fulfill your purpose. We're not waiting in line to see, whoever the first person that gets there gets the prize. No, your prize is waiting for you. But in order to get it, you have to start. So let's start today. There's a quote that says, who you are tomorrow begins with what you do today. So the first part of starting is to step forward. Stop playing it safe. We've been doing the safe thing. I can only speak for me personally. We've been doing the safe, comfortable thing, what's familiar, for too long. So we got to step forward. We got to step into it. Joyce Myers likes to say, step out and find out. Second, take what's in your hand to the next level. You have gifts, you have talents, you have knowledge, you have skills right at your disposal. Take sometimes we don't have to buy not one new thing. We don't need to sign up for one new workshop, webinar until we use what we have. So take what's in your hand, take what's in your head to the next level. Activate your inner strengths. Stir up your secret sauce. Stir up the gifts that are within you and think about the fortitude and the tenacity that you have to make it this far. And just activate that. Revisit what has worked for you in the past. Do more of that or create a new pathway. Don't be afraid of making some modifications to what has worked in the past, but maybe the environment that you're in, maybe the people that you've been called to serve right now, you've got to interact or interface with them in a different way. I am so used to doing in-person events, but I've learned over the past, couple of years with the pandemic that I've got to get into this virtual space. One, you can reach more people. Why would you want to limit yourself to the walls of a building when you can have the walls of the universe in a virtual space? So don't talk. Some things, you put it aside and maybe you're through with it. Maybe that was for that season. But I'm telling you, most things, there is some nugget that we can take from what we've done in the past and apply it to what we're doing now and to allow it to move us forward. The last point about starting is take the experiences of the losses, the wins, and the opportunities for your advantage. The second time purpose connection point is elevate your expectations. Elevate your expectations. Let's stop thinking that good enough is enough. No. When we expect good things to happen, we are more likely to take action to make them happen. When we're in expectancy that I can go farther, that I can take this to another level, we tend to put into motion what's necessary to make those things happen. There's another quote that says, I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you're not in this world to live up to mine. So we can elevate what we expect of ourselves. It will serve others well. We tend to get what we expect. Yes, because what you are expecting shapes and frames how, not just how you think, but the decisions that you make, the choices you make, and the actions that you take. So if you expect little, you tend to do little. If you expect much, you tend to do much. High achievement always takes place in the framework of high expectations. We got to raise up our expectations of what we expect of ourselves. And like Ephesians 3:20 tells us, God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we can ask, think, or imagine. The word actually tells us our latter days shall far exceed our former days. So God is taking us progressively forward. And so we have to have a progressive expectation of greater. Time, purpose, connection point number 3. We've been talking about it, but I just want to say it. Expect more of yourself. Stop giving yourself the easy pass. Stop wanting to do easy all the time. Part of this is establishing healthy boundaries, having balance, not trying to do it all, but doing what matters most. Xerox your own purpose blueprint, not others. Stop trying to replicate what somebody else is doing. Stop trying to do the next new thing. I'm having conversations with people, and as soon as they see something online, they think that's the thing that they're supposed to chase. God did not call us to be chasers. He said the blessings are going to chase us. Yes, he calls us to put our faith in motion, but not to be on this merry-go-round of chasing the next new thing. He says, behold, I am doing a new thing. So if we can just Xerox our own purpose blueprint and walk in that and let that influence others, not for them to even replicate what you're doing, but for it to be a resource, a point of encouragement, a point of them knowing that if you can live out purpose, they can live out purpose. So purpose to live purpose, be intentional. Let it be all about purpose. If it doesn't align with your purpose, then why are you doing it? Why are you saying it? Why are you going there? Why are you engaging? Expect more of yourself than you expect of others. We can really put a bunch of expectations on other people, things that we would never even do for ourselves. So I want you to expect more of yourself than you expect of others. And then choose to believe for the most beneficial outcome. May not look like what you want it to look like, but just believe that it's the best. When you put in the work, just believe that, you know what? For now, this is the best. It could be better. It could improve, whatever. We don't settle, but until we take our wins as they come to us, we will continue to feel like we're just in this cycle of low expectations. And then trust the process it takes to become the dream. We have to go from the dream to being the dream. And so I want you to be intentional about activating your becoming the dream. You are the dream that God was thinking of, that he created, that he purposed. Number 4 for our time purpose connection is go all the way. Okay, we got to go all the way. That's what I've been focusing on these past 8 days in this new year, and actually prior to the new year, of going all the way, because it's been a long time since I have gone all the way, since I have put it all in. But now when I think about the 9.5-year pathway journey to 70, I got to go all the way in. My pastor said recently, it might cost you everything to obey God's calling on your life. but it is worth it all. It may cost you some relationships. It may cost you some monetary investments. It may cost you to give up some habits. I don't know what it's going to cost you, but to take on the new, something's got to shift. Something's got to change. Something, as you choose your primary, something becomes secondary. Stop accepting being good enough as good enough. No, we were not created to be good enough. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. Thank you, Minister Addie Frederick, for joining us. I'm loving this myself. Turn off the I might fail alarm. One of my dear friends, a life coach that I know, says, but what if you don't? We're focusing so much on what if I fail? What if I miss the mark? And she likes to say, but what if you don't? Have you considered that you might not? Turn on, I'm willing to take the risk of failure in order to step out and find out, what is God's purpose? What is the good that's going to come out of this? Don't live on borrowed faith. God has given each of us our personal faith allotment for what he has purposed us to do. My faith is no more superior than yours, and yours is no more superior than mine, because all faith comes from God. But we can't live on borrowed faith. Living on borrowed faith is, well, I believe it just because somebody else believes it, or I believe that they can do it, I can do it. No, you can do it because God has purposed you to do it. He has equipped and empowered you to do it. So 2024 and beyond, we're going to live by faith and not by sight. We're going to stop looking at what somebody else is doing. We're going to stop looking at what has worked for them, how they made their six, digits profitability. And when I say stop looking, I don't mean not be informed. I don't mean not participate in growth and development processes, but make sure that it is aligned to your purpose and the process by which God is going to bring you to that fulfillment. The fifth one is be on time, on purpose. Be on time, on purpose. Think about being an employee. From the employer perspective, they expect people to be to work on time, to be where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there, doing what they're supposed to be. Because when somebody is missing, and there'll be times that, we won't be, nobody goes to work 365 days of the year or every day of the 52 weeks. But if you are purposing to be on time, on purpose, you will be aligned with the perfect will of God. So for me, that looks like when God gives me an assignment, be on time, on purpose. Stop procrastinating. Stop putting things off as if I think I have tomorrow to do it. John 9:4 says, as long as it is day, we must do the work of him who sent us. We have today. We have this moment. Let's make the most of the times that God has given us. I love studying Esther because I like when she was challenged in these words. And who knows that you've come to your royal position at such a time as this. We are royalty. The Bible tells us that. So you have a royal position that God has perfectly timed for you to be in this very moment in 2024. And so because he has purposed you to be here, guess what? For such a time as this, you got to be on time, on purpose. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. I'm telling you, as I'm going through doing my strategic planning for the next 30, 60, 90 days, that's where I'm focusing right now. There are a few things that are 6 months out, but I'm doing the 30, 60, 90 right now. I'll get to the 6 months and eventually the 12-month thing. But right now, I'm saying, God, what is the timing for everything for now? What is the season for the activity that I need to engage in right now? And so I am going back, as I'm going through stacks and stacks of papers, and I'm finding unfinished, chapters for some books. I'm finding some training modules. I'm finding all kind of stuff that I'm like, God, and I just put my hand on those papers and I prayed over it. And I said, God, if there's anything that you can use of any of this, use it. Give me wisdom, give me understanding so that the words on these pages can be resurrected to purpose now. So I'm telling you, maybe you just need to clean out some files. Maybe you need to go dig in and you're going to find some treasures like I have found. Something that God gave you maybe years ago. Yeah, I'm talking about finding stuff from like 2011 and before. But I'm telling you, I'm going through it. I'm praying over it. I'm pulling nuggets here, there. I'm got scissors and I'm cutting little sentences and paragraphs off and I'm pasting it onto stuff. Be creative. Be creative. When God brings something back to you, when he resurrects something, there's a purpose in that. Or he could just have you toss it and say, we're not doing that now. That was for then, Sheila. That was for 2011. This 2024. I love Philippians 1:6, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion to the days of Christ. God's going to finish this thing for us, but he doesn't do it without us. He requires us to be part of it. We are on his team. We are core laborers with him. So I want to encourage you. It is your time. It is your time. It's not too late. You haven't missed the mark. If God gave it to you, you can say it's your time. If it's something that you just thought of and maybe it's not even aligned with your purpose, then hey, maybe you just need to ditch it and move on. But I'm telling you that if it's from God and it has not been fully manifested, there is some variation of that he is going to bring to pass. So recap. Start now. Build the tomorrow that you want. Elevate your expectations. Expect more of yourself. Good enough is not good enough. Go all the way in. I want you to go after this thing like you've never gone after anything before. I'm telling you, I'm waking up during the night. I'm getting up early in the morning. I've got notepads by my bed. I am writing stuff down. I mean, it's just like God has downloaded this rainfall of ideas and creativity and things that I thought I had missed the mark and that he was not going to give me a second chance to work in and through me. But I am telling you that he is going way back. It's back to us. It seems back to us because God is a past, present God. When he created you and I for purpose, the word tells us every single day of our lives are already mapped out before one of them started. So let's go all the way in. Let's press in, like Paul says, forgetting yesterday's, and let's just press in. Let's press forward. And most importantly, let's learn to be on time, on purpose. Let's be on time, on purpose. Let's not just randomly decide that we're going to do something or we're going to be somewhere. Let's be about God's timing and God's purpose, because that is how we are walking in the manifestation and fulfillment. Because God's got a time. He has a time for things that happen here on earth. So let's be a part of God's timing and not set up these, other timelines and things. Pray over it. If you don't have clarity as to whether you're supposed to do something in the next, 7 days, 30 days, 60, 96 months, whatever, 12 months, pray over it and ask God, what is your purpose for this? Some things are just to prepare you for a longer assignment, for assignment that's in the future, because God wants you to understand the steps that you're taking right now to prepare you, to fortify you, to build your faith, to remind you of his favor for the thing that is to come. But don't miss out on what he's giving you right now. So I want to remind you just to give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to say out loud, it's my time. It's my time. Stop even thinking about quitting on yourself. It's not an option. It's not an option. And I tell myself that because you know what? Your life and my life, it doesn't belong to us. So how are we going to quit on something that we didn't create? How are we going to quit on something that we didn't start? It didn't originate with us. He is the author and the finisher of our faith. He is our Alpha and Omega. So if I didn't originate it, guess what? I can't stop it. I might stop me being a part of it, but I won't stop what God has purposed. 1 Corinthians 15:58 in the message says, with all this going for us, my dear friends, stand your ground and don't hold back. Throw yourselves into the work, the master, confident that nothing you do for him is a waste of time or effort. Throw yourself into it. Hebrews 10:23 of the message says, let's keep a firm grip on the promises that keeps us going because he keeps his word. So what do I want you to do? I want you to elevate your expectations. I want you to expect more of yourself. I want you to go all the way in, and I want you to be on time on purpose. And part of being on time on purpose is continuing to connect with us here at Life Purpose by Design. We're going to be showing up consistently this year. We've got a lot of, visions that God's been showing us, things that he is going to put in motion. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing very soon is a book talk series starting February 1st, 2024. It's going to be a Zoom community where we come together and we read a book. And the featured book this year is The Sacred Echo. And so I hope that you can join us. It's going to be on Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And The Sacred Echo is all about hearing, not just hearing, but listening to the voice of God in all areas of our lives. Because God is calling us to wholeness, to show up whole and complete in him, fulfilled. And the only way we can do that is to turn our ear to listen to the master's voice. So our registration link is going to be opening up real soon. I want you to sign up. I want you to spread the word, and I want y'all to show up in our 2024 live book talk series. And we're going to be going through several books this year. So that's what you can expect from us. And a lot of it's going to be related to the word activation. So in order to activate, we have to first listen to what we're supposed to be activating. So that's why we're going to start with listening. And I want you to join us next week, right here at Light Purpose by Design on Mondays at 1 p.m. And we're going to continue our It's Your Time series. Thank you so much for joining us here at Light Purpose by Design for It's Your Time. We will see you next time.